Welcome, everyone. Welcome to season 12, episode Faux Show.
Oh, okay.
Faux.
Show.
Season 12, episode 4. Yay!
We made it to
We
another
made
episode.
it. We did. At least two of us did.
Yeah. Is Ian okay?
He is. He texted me. So he'll be here at 9:10. I was like, I already started the countdown. Chris told me to, even though he wasn't here yet. He'll get here when he gets here. He's like, oh, you always start late. I was like, no, we start on time.
Yes. Our on time is 9:15.
So. Sure. Yeah, good point. All right. How's everyone chat doing tonight? Doing pretty good.
A priest, a rabbit, and a minister walk into a bar. The bartender asks the rabbit, "What do you have?" The rabbit says, "I don't know. I'm only here because of autocorrect."
Are you reading dad jokes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun times.
Rabbit.
Well, what do you say?
It's rabbit, rabbis, rabbit.
Yeah. No, got it. Trying to think. Yeah, there's no announcements. I got nothing, man.
Man, life is lifing, guys. Like we're just living day by day over here in the U.S. For those that aren't in America.
I guess. Yeah, I announced this. Yeah, go ahead. But no. So I announced this last night at Cosmere Reads, but obviously I'm in a new location.
I see that. I saw that last night when I chimed in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm in a new location too.
If you don't watch the Cosmere Reads, I am recording live from my kitchen because renovation starts soon, and yeah, where I normally record is now almost empty. I sold my desk and my gaming chair because we're getting a whole we're building out a desk and a whole podcasting part of the renovation. So like there's actually going to be a whole dedicated space once that's done in July. So until then,
what's our next book going to be then?
Yeah. But then we should be on Towers of Midnight. We should be, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, we should be. But yeah, so that's
you're gonna have this nice space, so we got to keep using it.
Yeah. Now, well, Cosmic Reads not going to finish anytime soon.
Very true.
Yeah, it's going to go on forever.
I'll just jump on there with you guys.
Yeah, you can just jump on there. You can come host like Tree, where
yes.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm recording back from my laptop again. I have my computer still, but since I don't have a desk and I'm not going to set up an entire, like desktop every time I record in my kitchen, it's in storage until after the renovation. So, yay. So that's what's new. Renovation starts, we break ground actually on March 17th. So still have a few weeks, 2 weeks or whatever, 2 or 3 weeks. But we've already started clearing the space just because, well, it comes faster than you think. And we got 3 kids. So anytime we have that we can hunker down and clear stuff,
get her done.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what's going on in my personal life is getting ready for renovations.
Awesome. I have been working, applying for jobs. Make the babies.
Ooh, make the babies.
Ian, is there something you need to tell us?
Yeah, either because its camera's not on. Either this is someone like Zoom bombing us, or Ian has some explaining to do.
Yeah. Because we can't see or hear, we're gonna go with that one. Ian has been in a relationship
for all of 5 minutes.
For all of 5 minutes, like literally started it last week, and here we go.
I think he started last night.
This is the reason why we have to keep him on a short leash. It's either this or possums, one of the two.
Yeah, making babies already. Anyway,
well.
Yeah.
Look at that this past weekend.
He'll figure out life out of it. Yeah, what's going on with you?
I had a super belated birthday party on Saturday because my birthday is in December, and
Yeah, I was
we were
about
gonna
to
get
say.
together in January, and then it snowed, and then we were gonna get together again, and then people got sick, and then by the time we could actually get together again, it was this past weekend. So it was really just more a reason to get friends together, and we have had fun. We enjoyed it thoroughly,
Yeah,
and
cool.
so had more family than friends, but that's okay. So
Fun times.
honestly,
Fun times. Yeah.
What's up, guys?
So you making babies?
I'm not. My
Oh.
glasses just cracked up. But Swan and Homie might be pretty soon.
Oh, there you go.
ooh,
Oh,
I don't know. Swanson's a little aged.
She wants to make babies with him.
How do the eye ovaries work? That's the question.
Mm.
And how do you get a hair mark blade since everybody all over gets them?
Yeah, apparently everyone gets a hair mark blade.
Yeah.
You get a blade. You get a blade. There's like an Oprah Winfrey.
Giveaway one day.
Yeah, gives away.
Yeah.
Hair
Everybody
blade.
checks under their seat, stabs themselves with a hair and mark blade.
Blade. Oh, fun times. So what's going on with you, Ian? What's new? You're still employed?
Still employed. I'm still pretty sure I'm getting promoted. They're just trying to work the paperwork,
Nice.
which I think is hilarious. Everybody else went in freaking out about their 5 bullet points, and I sent my folks another email about why I should get promoted.
Fun times.
Well, and then they also, so the DoD pushed back mostly for, issues with classified, this, that, and the other, but we pushed back and didn't send in the mass email thing. But they did, when everybody went in, start giving everybody busy work. And like part of the conversation I had with my supervisor, I was like, all right, let's look at the list of tasks that you gave everybody to do.
Yeah.
And in our whole group, there's like a dozen folks, and I'm the junior guy, pay wise. And the tasks that they gave me were like these one-off things of unique problems that they don't normally run into. So I was like, clearly, you already know that I'm capable of performing at the higher level.
Yeah.
Oh, well, why do you say that? Look at the task you gave me. Like that's not new guy stuff. Like, and if you want me to do it, pay me.
Yeah.
So-
And I love how petty Americans are, because like they did this whole thing and they made it a public email address. So the amount of people that were not even government workers that were sending cat pics to it and like all sorts of randomness, because they like, oh, anybody can email this.
I should have done that.
Anyone can email it. So there were like massive amount of people that aren't even federal employees that were just like sending out massive emails, like email bombing.
They got it filtered. Anybody that's not at USA or at
Mill or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they filtered it out, but still,
Hopefully.
hilarious. Hopefully they did. Otherwise, they just got flooded with a crap ton of emails. Yay. Yep. Good times. Yeah, so it's be interesting. It's been interesting. I mean, I don't work for the federal government.
Hard to think that we've just been in this for a month. Like, I just realized we've only been in this for a month.
Since Chris and I do not work for the government, and Ian does. We don't know. I work adjacent to a lot of government workers, and they're all freaking out because a lot of them just don't work, so they're freaking out because
that's the thing. Well, I said before, kind of like the ratio of how people work, and I'm not saying I'm irreplaceable, but with the people that are there right now, they would struggle if they got rid of me or anybody on my team. So I'm not too worried.
See, Chanel's in health equity, so there's a little panic over this way, but it's like,
I mean, I met with someone. I mean, not to get too many details, but this is not work related, but they worked for the VA. And I was talking to the VA hospital. They're a nurse, and I was talking to them about like retirement, and they were like, yeah, I'm just gonna get to my pension. I was like, well, can't you just go work in the private sector, like for a hospital, and make a lot more money? It's like, yeah, but then actually I have to work. And I was like,
yeah.
And then you wonder why.
And then actually have to do stuff. No, I don't want to do that. I just collect a paycheck. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I still say that this isn't everywhere. We do have some good managers, directors, bosses, higher ups, or whatever, but we went through this phase of like everybody can be a leader, and y'all have heard me say this before. I do not believe everybody can be a leader.
No.
And we have a lot of people in positions that they should be training, the next group of folks underneath them, and they just don't because they don't even know how to do their job. So
Right.
I'm not specifically talking about my agency. I've worked for
Many agents.
at least half a dozen different agencies, and it's all been kind of the same. The middle and upper management, it's kind of hit or miss if you got good ones. That's where I think
That's
we
like
do the most work. Yeah.
they keep all the
Yeah.
good people at the lowest point because the best people do the best work.
hmm
They're like, we'll promote the mediocre guy and have that person be the fall guy as we send more crap to the really good people.
What was the
Mhm.
saying that I used to always hear is A students teach, B students work for C students?
Yep.
Yeah, because your B students are your hardworking students, but they're not really like the A students. They're not the overachiever, but they're the steady, get stuff done people.
Yeah.
The C students are the ones that have all the extracurriculars and the people.
When they're
Yeah,
very
they're-
efficient.
Yeah, they're like
The right amount of laziness.
D's get degrees, man.
Yeah.
D's get degrees.
I wish I heard that saying.
It's true.
Ask me how I know.
Yeah, D's get degrees.
That one I heard, but the whole A, B, and C thing, that's the first time hearing that. I should have
Yeah.
done some
Mhm.
research.
Yeah. Well, you're taught the entire life to get good grades because that'll get you into a good college, and then you get to college and you realize employers don't give a shit about grades. They just care about you have that piece of paper. They don't care
Mhm.
at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't require a college degree, but if you have a type of job that does, they all do care that you have a good degree. It's not, they don't care about
Yeah.
grades. I've never had a job post college ask for my transcripts ever.
Yeah.
I worked in education, higher ed, so they definitely asked
Different.
for it.
A students teach. That's different.
Yeah.
Different.
Yep.
Yep.
The lesson learned a little late. Thanks to the
Learned a little late there. Yeah, no, but it's no. In most of the business world and things like that, maybe engineering they might, but even then I don't think they do. Like as long as you have the
No,
degree, they don't
yeah.
care.
I don't care. They have
Okay.
insurance for
Yep.
when you make a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. They don't care. And most of it you have to do on the job training anyway, because it's not like they.
That's
Right.
I'm not going to bash the college system too much, but you're not really trained for anything.
Yeah, there's a gap.
There's
There's
a
some professions that that require some internship time and blah blah blah.
For
The medical
sure.
field, but
medical field, yes, it's different. Specialties, engineering, probably yes, but anything in the business world, like a business degree, none of that matters in the business world at
No.
all. At
Yep.
all.
I should be able to sell.
So, and even if you're an analyst, they don't care. Yeah,
Nope.
they don't care. Anyway, fun times. I digress. So yeah, you guys want to talk about some Wheel of Time, or
let's do it.
Man, you know what I want to
Alright.
talk about?
what do you want to talk about?
That video you sent me. Oh
Yeah,
my god!
Oh, the sneak peek,
Chanel-
the Wheel of Time sneak
yeah,
peek.
Chanel, I was
phenomenal.
like- I waited until I messaged you guys. So I waited forever and a day to actually watch it. And then I cast it without saying anything to Chanel. She's like, wait a second. And then she's like, oh, ooh, wow. I'm like, I don't even know where they're going with this anymore. She's like, I don't know, and I don't care. I know. She's like, I know it. I don't care. This is phenomenal. 'Cause,
Yeah.
She's finished the whole series. at this
It's
point.
interesting that they're showing this.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
not the way
very
it's been-
creative. So this is not the fall of the tower. This is before. This is when Leandrin and Jezebel steal the stone, the dream ring, and they kill a bunch of sisters on the way out. And that's when everybody finds out there's black gods inside the tower. And then that's what leads to Swan's downfall. But
Right.
Yeah.
this happens off screen on the
Off-
books.
yeah.
Like it's talked about it happening, but you don't see it in the books
There's
at all.
whispers.
So
Yeah.
this is whispers about it actually happening. So because this is when
Which
they
is
said
cool.
because this is when Swan sends then the Tenchiku to go hunt them down
Mhm.
on the
Still,
secret mission. Yeah. So this is
all the
and then
death and murder and
yeah, and then Swan's deposed while they're away on their secret mission or whatever. So yeah, pretty.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, I hope they didn't just give us the best part of the season right there.
I mean, definitely an upgrade in budget as far as like CGI. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you could tell, like with the pace of stuff, they couldn't slowly reveal that there's dark friends within the tower. It was like, here's one, and oh, by the way, half of everybody in the room is also boom, move the plot line.
Yeah.
Like it was, they didn't waste any time with that. It was
No.
great.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, I guess
Yeah,
we'll talk
if you guys haven't seen it, go see it. It's pretty good.
Please.
Or if you just want to wait for the season to drop in like 2 weeks, you can do that too. Season 3, Wheel of Time, Amazon Prime.
You can do what you want.
You
We
do what you
promote
want.
freedom on this.
We do.
show.
We do. But I am hopefully optimistic about this next season. We'll see. We'll see the creative choices they make and where they go. But you know, I've
It
been
looked
optimistic about every season and first one wasn't as good as the second one, and hopefully it just keeps on improving.
I like that for it. Like I don't mind people and things starting off horrible and then getting better and better every time.
Oh sure, yeah. As long as there's like
I'm cool with that.
So we'll see. Yeah.
Anyway, the book.
Swan should have the girls hunting the Black Aja at the tower instead, anyways, instead of away.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about Swan later. So let's talk about first we're going to start though with When Iron Melts, chapter 6, and we're with Rodell. A character who we had mentioned a few times, definitely being mentioned a lot more in these chapters. And Rodell's surveying the battlefield. Half of his army's been killed in the victory. He's kind of one of these.
Itoralt or something.
Idiralda. Yeah, Idiralda Rodell. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
His last name.
Yeah.
And he kind of like how
Sorry.
Matt would think about these things and Rand and whatnot. You know, he's remorseful for the losses, but then he was also like, but considering who we fought, like, make that trade all day long. Because they should have been annihilated.
Right.
Yeah. But that realization is slowly settling, and that this time is very, very much limited if he continues down this path, which I think is going to bode well for things later on in towards Rand's, betterment. But for right now, they did a balling job. He outsmarted a large number of Shan-Chan, and he won. So
yeah, by
to the point of the Shan-Chan guy he's talking to, like, as he kind of surveys what he was up against and asking him questions about how'd you do it, he like tipped his hat to him like, bro, I don't high five many of my opponents, but here you go. That was
Torin, I think is the name.
Torin,
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you're legit. Well done.
Yep.
Yeah. That was an awesome interaction because he's just like, how did you do it? He's like, you're rocking. He's like, what about my rocking? He's like, you made assumptions. You know what assumptions do?
Yep.
They get you killed.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's been true in a lot of battles historically. Once you find out that they rely too much on one particular type of thing, you exploit that.
Yeah.
He's like, but you just brought down the whole ire of the Shan-Chan army against you. And he's like, yeah, we'll deal with that when we get there. But at least 100 years from now, when hopefully the rebellion starts, my children will know that we did the thing. Like, we put in the work. We laid the ground for this.
Yep.
So
yeah.
I mean, air support superiority is what the Shan-Chan do have with Rockin', but that can be a double-edged sword as well.
You can run a good ground game under that.
Yeah. They were legitimate. He was like, yeah, how did you do it? Well, I hit everybody in houses. You can't see through the roofs. So, and they just came out and worked. Got a little bit of fresh air every few hours, swapped out people, and they look like farmers working, and you thought you were all good, and bang,
you weren't
done.
Yep. It's almost like having an insurgent population. Hence why also the United States and a bunch of other countries have had trouble When you have a large insurgent populations, it's tough to fight those wars because you never know who the bad guys are. Everyone could be, and Ian knows about this.
Yeah.
It's also one of the reasons why people say America is unconquerable, because there's more guns in America than there are people privately owned,
Yeah.
and you have,
And
an entire insurgent population. Like,
even if you somehow were able to get past like our biggest strengths where we dominate, and then it's almost, you know, you made the joke before about why you don't shoot officers in the military, but like if we had a weak or lack of a central government because we were initially losing something, that's almost worse, because once we go militia and it's like every community for themselves, it would take a very dominant force many generations to even have a hope of overcoming that. It's just not going to happen.
when they try to march across the Appalachian, they hear the banjo play. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. And as much as we've had tensions lately with like our bordering countries, and like I know deep down, like if ish hit the fan, like us in Canada and probably Mexico too would be like, all right, this is our continent. Let's just
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
we gonna F them up.
Bygones be bygones for the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Athena. How Viet Cong used. I mean, Robert Jordan. Well, this is now Brandon Sanderson, but it did have some notes from Robert Jordan as well. So, but mind you,
Right.
Vietnam battle, and Viet Cong used tunnels as well to try to hide their
Dude,
positions.
They hit a brigade under a mountain.
Mhm.
Wow.
Have you guys seen We Were Soldiers?
I
Fairly
have.
historically accurate. Oh man, phenomenal. That's another movie probably once a year, once every other year I rewatch, and it's so good. But yeah, they definitely hid like a brigade's worth of people under a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will
Crazy.
watch it eventually.
Yep.
Yeah.
That one's worth it. I know I throw a lot of like military type movies out there, but that is a good one, Chris. You'll watch
Yeah,
it. Watch it before being a father, and then God willing, you become a father one day. Rewatch it again, and it hits so differently.
Mhm.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for Rodell, Adirada, Rodell's point of view. Rodell, Adirada.
Mhm. Oh well, we can't leave out the fact that they both had hair and mark blades.
Yes.
Well, just went to my comment of how do you get them? Does Oprah give them away?
Yeah. Everyone gets a blade.
Like how? What? There can't be like a special school or something. Like I guess it's passed down from master to master, but how do you meet a master and get him to pass a blade down to you, or do you just kill him and take it like Rand did?
Yep.
Is there a whole school of hair and mark warriors out there?
Yeah. Apparently.
Are they going to come to Rand's aid when the time?
Well, there's.
Find out.
I was gonna say there's a finite amount, but do we knew in our world before, like no new ones were being made, but in Shan-Chan, did anybody have the capability of making new ones? Like the ones infused with the power? Are they all infused with the power, or like?
No, not all of them. No.
Okay.
The more famous.
I just remember we were talking about it, like with land and everything, talking about it early on. It's like, yeah, they ain't making these no more.
Some are power made blades. Some of the older
Right,
ones,
that's
the
right.
more famous ones, but not all of them are.
Yeah, that's right.
Then we switch to Egwene's point of view, and she's in the tower, and she's feeling good. Bum, 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 bum. Michael Bublé, man.
Yeah.
some Bublés. She's talking with Leanne when her cell begins to melt.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this
I
part.
mean, that pretty much summarized that whole part. Like,
Yeah, it's just like
you get the little
that's
bit
not
of
good.
yeah, you get the little bit of information about how she's kind of being treated well,
Right.
but not well. How she has to wash her body, then wash her clothes. Her clothes are still dirty. Like she doesn't feel like herself. She doesn't feel pretty.
I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay.
Cheap hair mark blades are the ones on eBay are made in China.
Yeah. I got mine off a Wish.
Off of
Or Temu.
Timu, yeah, Timu stuff. It comes broken.
Right. It's already shattered.
She feels like she owes her sanity to Egwene, and she can see Egwene just becoming the mother, and she recognizes her fully.
Yeah.
As the Amerlin. So all good things.
Not just her. I think the people guarding her. The cell that they're in and everything melting down or whatever. I think this is just one more thing to nudge the people of what Egwene's been saying. Like, look around you. Stop pretending that things are okay. Shit is not okay. And I know they don't really get into it, but I feel like we're on that precipice now of the people that have been kind of backing Elida of just being like, what are we doing? Like,
I want to be there with you, but then I also know that he might take another book or two to stretch this out. Really can't see that happening, but at the same time, it may be the end of the book before we see some real resolution.
Yeah, I'm not going to claim like total reconciliation of the tower in this book, but I think there's going to be some significant shifts. There's going to be people starting to jump sides. I think Egwene's going to start gaining traction.
Yeah,
I can agree with you on that for sure.
Oh yeah,
and then 3 books later, we actually conclude that.
Yeah,
that I can agree with too.
So what do you think about this whole cell melting and then it turning back to stone? Like her dress, like it's all crusty and like it's like almost like taking a bath in concrete.
That was really a moment. I was like, this is happening all over. They got big problems, and something serious does need to happen real soon here.
Yeah.
So I kind of want.
Question. What do you think would be the final cause to unite the tower again? Thank you. There.
That's a good one. I don't think it's going to be Rand. I think part of what we're learning here is, and what Rand is realizing is he can't do it all by himself. And that there's, jumping ahead to when he's talking to Ruark, there's a time and a place for Rand to do his thing. There's a time and a place to use the Aiel. There's things that the Aes Sedai are good at and he's tasked them for. And there's things he looks at a situation is like, oh, they're not, we don't need them doing this. So definitely not Rand bringing the tower together. That would be, I hope that's not the case because I don't know. I think it's probably going to be more her building from the bottom up. Okay. There's talk about all these new novices and everything. The novices in the tower are respecting Egwene more and more with everything she's going through and the beating she's putting up with and her keeping her cool. But then you have we're guessing over 1,000 novices that are with the rebel forces, right? That are mostly loyal to Egwene. So yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of a bottom up rebuild. And we're starting to see in some Aes Sedai that have gone through some crazy stuff, a little bit of humility brewing. We see this in Swan in these chapters coming up of her realizing like, gosh, when I was so powerful in the Amerlin, how much did I miss? Because I wasn't paying attention to the little things going on beneath me and around me, sort of thing. And again, we're jumping ahead, but whatever, that's what we do. Even Swan in her conversation in Teleron Riyadh with Egwene is thinking, holy shit, this girl is the Amerlin.
Yeah.
Like she's doing it.
So you don't think it's when Elida finally snaps? Like I think it's going to be Elida that really is the catalyst. She's going to snap.
Yeah, I think in a bad way. I don't see Egwene putting her down though. I think Egwene's going to find a way to unite it and keep Elida in the fold.
Well, I think like Elida's going to finally snap and then come around.
She's going to bend. She's going to bend, then snap.
Bend the knee.
Bend and snap. Yeah.
She's going to bend and snap. Throw it to the Eiffel Tower.
Bend and snap.
Maybe.
Right.
There we
go fishing across the dance floor.
Yeah. Do some pizza makers. I mean,
right.
It's going to be dance off. Dance off. That's how this whole book ends, with the giant dance off. That's
everybody's dancing around as the Game of Stones happens.
Exactly. It's we talked about that on Sunday night, the Cosmere Reads was on Cosmere Chronicles podcast, and we said that's how Mistborn ends, is with the giant torque off. It's same thing all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what that
Uh,
was.
The other thing that could happen that you see in a lot of stories, there's a common enemy that is like neither one of them can take on by themselves, and they have to fight together.
Is maybe our dark friend comes to light, and Elida has to depend on, because again, it's going to be some catalyst with Elida in my mind. It's not going to have anything to do with anybody else but Elida.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not like, the Forsaken pops out and immediately kills Elida. There's probably plenty of people at this point that would be okay with that, but I'm much more a fan of how you've suggested early on that when Egwene finally does it, it includes everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But we could see that. We could see Elida just get whacked by a Forsaken like instantly, and then we're like, okay, well that solves that problem.
And then it's like, all right, who do we trust?
Right.
Super sending this whole time anyway.
Because if something like that happened, I feel like enough of the sisters in the tower would be like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and vote on this to make it official on our end. But Egwene, it's you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
How do we fix this? Everything's jacked up.
Yeah. Just take out the main person.
For Egwene, but
yeah. Well, that's pretty much how we end this chapter. So, anything we missed? Anything you want to talk about? I mean, really a melting cell and a little conversation with some Sanchin about kicking their ass.
Yeah, that was it. We really drug more out of that than I thought we would.
Yeah.
All right.
We do that well enough.
Chapter 7. The Plan for Erdamon. Where Nynaeve and Dagion are hanging out together, and Dagion's trying to teach Nynaeve some of the weaves for the Aes Sedai test, and Nynaeve's just like, really? I ain't got time for this. Like, this is stupid. And I had a conversation about this earlier today. Like, when you get those kind of assignments where it's just kind of like, in school, when you like,
right,
especially
it's busy work.
When you had a substitute teacher and they're like, yeah, we just want to keep you busy. So they just give you like the crappy, like,
here's a worksheet.
Here's a worksheet. Work through this. And you're like,
yeah,
do it.
Yeah, that's the worst.
That's what it feels like here. It's like, this is Aes Sedai, like mundane, like stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Dagion's trying to make it like seem like a big deal. And Nynaeve's like, I mean, I guess it's
kind
of intricate, like, but
I was gonna say, so knowing how to work these weaves and the intricacies of them is important, because it's just good practice on whipping them together as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And we don't know what they do, because they clearly don't do anything that we can see, but how do we know that stringing some of them together don't do something amazing?
Well, so remember, it does help them get through the test. Like, you have to do them in that order to make it through the test to become Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
But as I'm doubling down on what we said when we went through that it's more than that. The history of the importance of it has been forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have to do that. And I think they all are probably going to have to do it like in unison, like link up and do it. And somehow that's part of
the Dark One.
Right. I had this thought when I was going through these chapters at some point. It applies to all the chapters, really. The tower itself is one of the seals. And so that's why they were infiltrated. And in order for that final strongest seal to stay together, and they had to be unified in all of the Ajas and everything. I don't think it's all falling apart because of these Bublés and because the Dark One's presence. I think he's getting stronger because the tower's falling apart. And that's why, the Dark Friends and Black Aja were infiltrating and causing this descent, because they knew by causing chaos within the tower, it would weaken that final strongest seal.
I like that theory.
Yep. And when they, come together and reunite in whatever their last role is, to either, like you said, bind them again, or I don't know, whatever, it's going to involve all of them doing this weave together. And Nynaeve's going to be leading it like, Come on, ladies. Link with me. We can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cute.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Let me. Where am I? There I am.
Right.
Okay.
Let's not skip the fact that there's a storm a brewing.
There's the storm.
10 days of cloudiness.
Mm-hmm.
And Nynaeve herself is feeling something worse. She's like, it's not just this storm. There's something more brewing in the horizons.
That's like how
something's coming up.
Yeah, that's how it's been here, man. It's been great for today. Was the first day of sunlight like in forever. It's been.
Yeah, I walked around for a while at lunch.
It was
nice. Midday,
very nice day.
mid-60s, right?
Yeah, 70 here.
We had 74 here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's always really, really funny talking to my brother too, because like when it was like we had the snowstorm last week, and like he had no idea that it was snowing in Virginia because he's in Florida. And I was like, yeah, we're getting a snowstorm tonight. He's like, really? It's 80 degrees. Like I was like, screw you. it's nice and balmy.
Florida.
You're in Tampa. That's not the same. Doesn't count. So anyways, yeah, and this is also around the same time too that Nynaeve has like that little conversation with Daigen about how she doesn't like the system and the way other Aes Sedai treat her, and thinks that the system should be changed.
Yeah. She also asked to heal her. Like anything can be healed with the power except for death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Daigen refuses, saying the pain's part of the process.
Yeah. So would you want me to take your pain away if you were to lose your big brooding hulkish of a man? She said, well, it's different.
Some people, I mean, I guess it depends. Like, yeah. There's something to be said about not having pain taken away. Like, I remember, like, I mean, and I know this is a really weird example, but like my wife, for example, with all 3 kids, she refused to take any pain, do no epidurals for the childbirth. She did it 100% natural with 0 medication. And there was a choice that she made, and like all the nurses were like, we can give you stuff. And she's like, humans have been doing this literally thousands of years with with nothing. So like we can do it. Like the human body is made to do this. So I'm gonna do it the natural way. And so
again, I say she's a G. We lost Ian.
And Ian's like, I know his childbirth conversation. I am out.
I have known his wife for a very long time. She is a G. So
yeah. So
I could definitely see her saying, "Nah, I'm good," and not batting an eye at it. Whoa.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah. One of the few people that actually enjoyed a workout.
Is there a message somewhere, Ian?
No, I was texting in chat, and then I hit the back button instead of like closing it out, and it took me all the way out of StreamYard.
Oh, okay. Sounds about right.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, rookie. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. So I mean, there's something about, like I said, the pain in the process. Feeling the pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was it for that.
Yeah, that's it for that. The Nynaeve leaves to visit Rand, joined by a group of others. Rand's arguing with Bail and Ruark about the Aiel and what they're doing.
She chases after Catswain, and Catswain doesn't go directly there. We don't know where she goes, but she doesn't go directly there. And that part's kind of left out as Nynaeve gets engaged in the conversation with Rand and the Aiel.
Yeah, and Catswain's there. I mean, she interrupts them. It's like the Aiel have not failed you yet. Yeah.
There was a brief moment when Rand first started talking to Ruark, and I was like, don't disrespect your boy like that. Because he was kind of harsh. He was a little dismissive of them and dismissive of their culture and their past. But he also, I think he came around and explained it very well, like a reminder of like, bro, things are not going to be the same. If you just keep clinging to the way things used to be, we're hosed. Then he also picks him back up and be like, like it or not, like this mission coming up, this isn't something you could throw the Aes Sedai at. They're going to jack it up. Like all the things you're good at, the skills you have, what your people can do. This is what we need here. So I don't think it was all bad. I think that's the being a little dismissive of them and a little disrespectful. You know, the way he spoke to him initially, it did kind of make some of the maidens like kind of gasp, do their hand talk, and everybody's like, "Whoa!" But it's necessary, and there isn't a whole lot of time, you know, to dance around feelings. You know, they got to be direct.
Yeah, that's the word, direct. Like he just came off the wrong way.
Yeah,
but it's also cultural. Like, you know, Rand's from farm town, and when stuff is going down, I'm sure the farmers get out there and they just have at it.
Right.
Like this is what
when it's time to work, you work.
Yeah, that's how
your back hurts. Work.
Grew up.
You got a blister. Work. We'll talk about it later over some, you know, brandy or something. But right now, got to get to it.
Yeah. As they used to say, dust the sand out your private parts and keep it moving.
I'll tell you what. That's one issue I've run into, and not a lot, but a couple relationships of friends and romantic. I'm all about, you know, there's time and place to talk about feelings, and as they come up, you know, work through them, and you know, validating people and all that jazz, all this stuff that's floating around the internet of what you're supposed to do. But there's even a time and a place for that, and that is not always the priority, and that always it's not always the highest thing in the moment, you know, depending on timing, depending on the issue. I don't know.
Completely agreed. It's
so
very difficult to pacify people when there's more important things happening.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe I'm just running into too many people these days that don't understand that. Or maybe it's just becoming more of a thing. Like, I don't know. Just because you got feelings about shit don't mean it's important.
Yeah, like we appreciate your perspective. We will validate that, and now we're gonna keep it moving because we have other things to get done in life.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm not sensitive. There's a time and a place for all that.
He's just an asshole.
No.
Oh, my best friend.
Trust me, I've spent a lot of time not just thinking about it, but talking to people that I'm close to. And Alan, you and I have had these conversations some, and I've had the conversation with family. People have known me like for a long time. And I've certainly changed from when I was younger. When I was younger, even though I didn't intend to be an asshole, my level of being direct and my own personal ability. So it used to be really bad. I think I've gotten better about it. But also, it would really annoy me, and still does, like if somebody's like somewhat getting to know me and they're like, oh, you're just this emotionless, blah, 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 blah. Or you're doing that guy thing where you just bury your emotions and don't deal with it. I'm like, that's not true at all. But I am not a victim of my emotions. And I don't know if we've talked about it on here. That's why I love that. What's that animated movie about the emotions inside?
Oh, Inside Out.
Inside Out. For the most part, I think it's fantastic because it shows that like all of those emotions have a role, and in different situations, you know, they have a different priority and they stand out more or whatever. But there's still there's still a me inside my head that can choose and makes the final choices, right? Of anxiety is here, anger is here, this, that, and the other, but they're not in charge. I'm in charge. Like I recognize that they're there, and I consider the reason they're there, and it's important, blah, 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 blah. But like, I don't act on those individual things when they're acting out inside my head. You know, that's when you make mistakes. That's when you piss people off. That's when you make bad decisions. Anyways.
Sometimes I make my best decisions in those moments.
That's when Ian calls me and I just make fun of him for it.
Yeah. Or Alan's one of the few people that I could share with and be like, so when this happened, the first thought that crossed my mind is I'm going to say this and do this. But then I was like, nah, life is still worth living. So this was the response I actually gave, you know?
And my response is usually, it sucks, man.
Yeah.
Sucks. I would have given the other response.
Or he's like, no, you should have gone with option A, full send. Mm-hmm. Like what?
Let me get some popcorn first. I want to watch.
So giant tangent, but I say that to go back to my first point of initially when he talked to Rourke a certain way, I was like, oh no. But then I was
Mhm.
like, actually,
Yeah.
come on,
Makes sense.
Rourke, like fucking time to stand up.
Yep.
Get your people. There's shit to
Together and
do.
get it done. Yeah.
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 And it's around this time that Catswain also informs Rand that the Council of Merchants probably has chosen a new king by now. And yeah.
Or should have.
They
I think
should
the
have.
problem
Yeah,
is
that's what I
that,
said. Should have,
they
yeah.
right should have.
They should have.
But hasn't.
But
And
hasn't.
Rand's like, well, that's
Sorry.
what we're going to do.
Yep.
We're going to kidnap all of them and make them choose a king. And then we
Mhm.
will treat with the king and move forward.
Meanwhile, without missing a beat, explains to them the Grendel problem and how she's probably involved, and if she is, da 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 da,
Mhm.
and talks about how she always was and what she tends to do.
Oh, yeah, because he was
And-
definitely talking,
Right,
crazy talk. I hate to say it that way, but
right.
Mhm.
But crazy talk in the sense that he shouldn't know these things, but not.
oh,
he
no,
wasn't
was
like
saying
lashing
he was
out.
definitely talking to himself. Did you
Yeah.
No,
not
I
get that?
I thought when he was talking about
Oh,
the
no, there
the
were
worries with Grendel here,
periods-
he was like having a very
there were
direct
periods
conversation
in
with him.
that where he was also talking to himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He wasn't just.
I felt like
through Arkin though.
Yeah, I felt like we were maybe starting a transition where he's more. It just is like you just need to accept that I know these things,
Mhm.
and it's only going to benefit us for me to share this information with you, instead of trying to pretend I'm
He
not
was
crazy.
talking to Luz Theron in that moment while
Yeah.
talking to them.
Okay,
I didn't think he realized that he was necessarily talking out loud to them.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to go back and re-listen or
losing it.
reread. He's losing it. Yeah. Also, isn't this the same scene when like he talks to Bashir as well about everything, and Bashir's like, Rodell's gonna get really, really upset about this, Adiralda, and
and
Rand's
Bashir was
"I'll
like,
deal-"
"I'd really like to face that guy. I've always
and,
kind of
like,
wanted to
and
see."
Rand's like, "I'll deal with him."
Yeah.
personally.
I'm like, nope.
I got this.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, because
I'm curious what Rand has
He's one of
planned.
the great captains. I mean, Rodell's one. I mean, we just saw him in the last chapter. I mean, he's one of those military geniuses. So it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what if Rand goes in there and tries to be all diplomatic and this guy refuses to stand down, and then Rand is like, you're going to mess up my plans, and then it turns into a sword fight. I just thought of that, not when I was reading, but we know Rand is down to one hand.
Yep.
But remember earlier in the books and learning from Lan, like, using the sword was huge. So it'd be cool if that makes a comeback. This guy also talks about when he takes the Heron Mark blade off the Shanshan guy, like he's like, I wish I could have. There was actually an opportunity to test our skills against one another instead of doing it like this. So there's a little setup for a sword fight.
But Rand does not really know how to use the sword with his left hand. So it would be a really
But that's
good
more of a setup, I think.
Oh,
Is the opportunity to do it.
No, I'm not
Maybe
disagreeing.
he gets forced into it.
Could be the case.
Rand has his right hand. He lost his left hand, but he's just not used to using one hand for a sword.
Right. If
It still-
Jamie
he still
Lannister
has
could
his
do it.
dominant
I don't know
hand.
how to use one hand for mine either.
Yeah.
Yeah, switching hands sometimes is weird.
Boom.
And I mean, I definitely need two hands.
Definitely.
One hand's just, you could do it. It's just not
It's not the same. Ugh.
the same.
I have one for the catcher's mitt.
Yeah. You ever eat dinner and like have a burp afterwards and like oh yeah, that's what I had for dinner.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just happened. Random thought. Yeah, I had burnt broccoli for dinner, which is a really weird taste when you.
That's why I always load everything I'm cooking up with garlic
Oh,
because that, the
Dude,
second
dinner-
time around.
dinner tonight was so good. We did steak, ribeye,
Mm.
sweet potatoes, sweet mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, burnt broccoli, and then my wife made bread. Let me tell you about the new bread that we're making.
that
So
we're making. Huh?
yeah,
Eating a
that
bunch
we're-
of carbs, getting all fat and
that,
sassy.
that we are making,
Uh-huh.
that my wife's making, and I am devouring. So she went and bought actually raw wheat berry, like raw wheat,
Oh.
and we bought our own. We got our own.
You like it
mill.
raw, Alan?
I do. And we got our own own mill back there, so we milled our own flour.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we milled our own flour, and then I say my wife milled her own flour, and then made fresh bread from like literally from scratch, like from the
That's
plant
awesome.
to the flour to
That's crazy.
and it's delicious.
Did you milk the cow?
If we had a cow, I would. Have you ever had raw milk?
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
That's what
I've had it straight from the teat.
That's where I
Straight
had it from. That was
Straight
by
from the
accident.
udder.
So warm. I didn't expect a kid. Didn't expect it to be warm.
There was only one teat under the cow that I got it from. It was weird.
One of my
Just-
wife's roommates from college, her family owns a dairy farm. Yeah, you're funny. Has a dairy farm out in Orange County,
Very
Virginia.
thick. Like,
Very thick.
I actually had to go get another glass of milk
I'm
from
done.
somewhere else to wash it down.
You didn't homogenize it.
Yeah, it's like, when you do the high. Well, Chris, you might
It's
not
a-
know. I don't know. You're light
It's a
skinned
lot
enough,
of work
maybe.
when the store has bread. It's not that much work. And actually,
You ever
like,
done the high
He's not
SPF,
easy.
like the SPF 100,
Yes.
and how it's like
Mhm.
it's a liquid, but it's not, and
yeah.
it's sticky and it doesn't rub in, and you try to wipe it off and you can't wipe it off.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 different types of soap to get it off. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't know raw milk was like that.
Mhm. This is ice cream.
Yeah. We'll go with that.
Just ice cream.
It's like you blew a seal.
No, it's just ice cream. So that's pretty much how we end this chapter. So, any other questions? Any other thoughts?
Mm-mm. Think we covered
No,
it.
We're going on so many tangents tonight, which I think is perfect. Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Gramps. Some people are like, yeah, there's store-bought bread. Yeah, I know, but homemade stuff is worth it. It is 100% worth it.
Especially
My
with some-
anxiety's homemade from scratch,
And it's worth it.
and,
And it's
that shit
worth
is
it.
it is potent. It is. Hey, that store bought anxiety. No,
Nah, you
it's
shouldn't
the
need
real
that.
deal.
My depression. It's homemade, man. It's-
Created it myself. It's a family recipe. It's passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah, that
This
is
is real dark, real fast.
I switched from laughing to crying.
Generational trauma. This is what we're going to talk about now.
I mean, bread. Yeah, the bread recipe.
bread
whatever.
recipes. Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
Phenomenal recipes.
I'm gonna go cry now.
Mhm.
You guys ready to talk about this last chapter, clean shirts?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Chapter 8, clean shirts. And so Swan's making some clean some shirts for sure.
It's a cute chapter. Swan
Yeah.
finally admits it.
She acting like she don't want to clean them.
Mhm.
And then he's like, I got somebody that says they'll clean them. She's like, hold up.
You can let some other woman clean your shirts.
And then he's like, but actually, I like the way you clean them. She's like, well, I fucking like cleaning them for you. I'll tell you when I'm done cleaning them. There's a little bit more in the chapter, but that's about it.
We just like literally like so I have all of this for the other stuff. I got all this. And then here I've got 4 sentences. It's like first off, Swan sees the sky and she's like, Lion's Fish Vale. Dark Master. She's like, this is not gonna be good. And then the woman she's walking with, Lelaine, she's like,
Mhm.
it's okay. Don't worry about it. You and your isms, you and your worry. You need to
Yep.
stop, my faithful servant. I mean, friend. Because now this woman's so high and mighty. She's like, oh, one day you're going to kiss my ring And I
Oh,
know
Lordy.
I should buy you out of your servitude from Brent. I know you're tired of washing his clothes. And she's like, I might be tired of washing his clothes, but it gives me an in and lets me hear what's going on. Really, I just don't want to leave his side. And she knows
Her-
it. She's kind of like
Her excuses are a stretch here. You could definitely
Mhm.
feel it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's trying to do the Aes Sedai lie without lying thing, but I mean, as the reader, you definitely read through it. And then like the Aes Sedai she's talking to is, even making faces and like, I know what's, yeah,
Well,
sure. I know what you mean.
friend. They used to be friends. So like
Right. So she
even
knows her.
more- Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like, you're not fooling me.
Yep.
And then we get her going to wash Brent's clothes, and she enjoys the
Yep.
washing. Well,
Mhm.
she's really just taking them off the line that's inside, and
Yep. But Bryn's there complimenting her on her laundry skills.
mm-hmm.
Ask
Well,
her why
and Bren was really smooth too. He was like, "Hey, it's lights out. It's time for you to go on ahead and go to bed." She's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, now's about the time that you go to bed early on this day, and you pull out that weird ring that you've been hiding." And
Yeah. By the
give
way,
my
tell Egwene I
regards.
said,
He give our regards to the Amelin. She's like, "Wait,
Yeah.
what? What did you?" And he's
tell our
like,
girl
"Yeah."
I said, what's up?
He's like, "I didn't know until I knew."
Yep.
She's like, "You wily coyote." I
Yeah.
heard those
Yeah.
words.
Their back and forth has always been
Interesting.
parts of it that annoy me a little bit, but cute. They're both willing participants in this. What do we call it? Blooming love. I don't know. It's not even just like the romantic love. There's respect.
Yeah.
They're both going through some humbling moments, but both very duty bound.
Mhm.
I think they're realizing that while they're very different, they're also very much the same in what they value and their principles. And as they start to see that in each other, they're like, oh shit, this person's legit. Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they get me. It's not the same story, but
Mm.
they get
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool watching that unfold.
Definitely. So anything else from all this before we switch to Teleranriad?
Mm-mm.
The dream world.
Well, I mean the big reveal, and Swan told
Mhm.
Gareth Bryn everything.
Right.
Oh, yeah, we almost
the
with
the
that.
secret of what she knows about the Dragon Reborn and how
Mhm.
soon she knew about Black Aja. And yes, it's true, they exist. I'm gonna call you a
Mhm.
liar if you talk about this outside of this room, sort of thing. So she dumps everything. So two things. First, I thought, oh, is Gareth Bryn Taviran? Is this getting pulled out of him? But
Ooh.
it's
Mm.
I don't think it's that. I don't think that's what we're writing here. Because going off to what I said before, this is that next level love that we look for, not just in a romantic partner, but in a friend, any kind of relationship, like that person where you're finally like, you know what, I gotta trust somebody with everything, right? And I think she just makes the decision like this is the guy, this is the person. I don't have Moraine anymore. I can't carry this on my own. I'm going to put it all out there. I'm going to let him see everything about me. And, like, yes, in the friend thing, but also in the romantic thing, there's a point in a relationship, and hopefully you do it earlier rather than later, where like, you just let him know everything about you. And it's not like a trauma dump. Hey, here's all my red flags. Here's all my blah, blah, blah. But like, it's more, I want you to see me completely. And then like, I still want you to choose me. I think that's where she's at right now. Like,
I want you to want me.
I don't want you to be in love of this like perfect picture of me that you think you know. I'm gonna start putting it all out there.
To love me.
Well, and he definitely knew there was a lot more to the story. He just didn't know how deep and involved and indebted to it she was. She even admitted, she was like, you know what? I fully intended on fulfilling my promise. You never set a time frame. I purposely didn't set a time frame. There's too much else going on, too many other important things happening in the world. You need to be understanding of that. She's like, inevitably, my goal is to save you and all your people. You know, even though I may not have known you at the time, you know, my goal is to make sure we get Rand to the final battle so that we can save the world, essentially. That's a heavy burden.
I don't know if I don't know about you. My dog tells herself all the time. I get through the
I
door.
walk in the house and Alan's
and
dog
I-
tells me everything.
Everything. No, but I'll walk through it. I just get that look like, what'd you do?
It's true. Your dog definitely
What'd
does
you
not
do?
know.
She can't
She's a
keep a secret for anything.
Yeah.
No.
She doesn't even bark anymore. I walk in the door. She looks at Alan, looks at me, and just goes, micro penis. I'm like, that's not nice. You leave Alan alone. He's a good dog, Dad. No, I'm kidding. That's so messed up.
But she's like, but he's been successful with it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, let's talk about Cheap Trick some. Good times.
Gareth Bryn's response to her, I think, was pretty balanced too. Like, she unloads like this, and he sandwiches it in there. He's like, "Holy cow!" Like, I get it now why you did what you did. He does one little zing of kind of like, hey, if I was in your place and this was my mission, sort of thing. Like, you should have never made any other oath on top of that. Like, that's what you just told me is top priority. I can't imagine anything else taking bigger priority than that. So he gives her that nod, but he tries to be like, you shouldn't have made an oath. And that's what she hits him back with. Well, you should pay attention to the oaths that are being given to you. Put some parameters on it.
Yep.
Should have time framed it. And he's like, dang, you right about that too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess you don't have to do my laundry anymore. And she's like, when he's like, you don't have to do my laundry anymore, she's like, how dare you? That's not your decision to make.
Yeah.
I'm not done doing your laundry, and I'll let you know when I'm finished with it. And they kind of giggle about it. It's cute.
It's cute. Yeah. So, all right, you guys ready to talk about Telegram Yard?
What's there
Sure.
to talk about? Okay.
Well, I mean, Swan and Gwen meet, and they talk about Halima a lot, and you know, that
Okay. I'm joking. I'm ready to talk.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it tells downloads all the information to Egwene about Halima and how she's one of the Forsaken and the Black Aja, and
she's like,
Egwene's like
all
really?
over
Like,
me though.
the person who was like helping me and like attending to me was like Forsaken.
Those head massages.
Well, and
Mhm.
she was like, but it was a male that was channeling, so I don't understand. She's like, yeah, well,
Mhm.
there are a lot of things these days that we don't understand, you know.
Yeah, those Forsaken are sneaky.
Women doing men things, it happens.
Mhm. Yep.
That's why
Um,
doing the dating apps in Richmond, after I match, I'm like, hey, sorry for asking, but this is Richmond and I have to. Are you a woman? Have you always been a woman? No, no judgment. Just like for you to be upfront with me.
Yeah.
I've had responses in both directions, and I'm like, that's awesome.
And
Best of luck to you. Still very beautiful, but
yeah,
it's not my flavor of tea.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
so we end up in Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and awkward.
But to be
People out there.
awkward.
You know what? No.
To be fair, like literally all I have is she went there, she sees Egwene changes the meeting spot because she's like, I want a different change of scenery. I spend too much time here as is. Let's go elsewhere. And this is after we have Swan talking about how she really can't control things in the dream as well. And she wishes she could. And so it just shows how emotional she can get, because we know emotions control a lot of it. So
we also
your
hear,
subconscious comes through.
I mean, we already knew this, but we heard also about all the Aes Sedai that were sent to destroy the Black Tower were all bonded by the Ashman. and Rand
Mhm.
sent Ashman to be bonded by
She's like,
Aphrodite
I'll
for 10
deal with that
pounds.
when I get out, but right now I don't have the time. And then she's like, well, maybe you should make the time because you're about to get usurped. And she's like, no. This is strategic. Let her
It's a good thing.
let her use me as an image to build her
Mhm.
power. Because then when I come back, there's gonna be a
She'll
lot
have no
of
choice.
power she's got to hand back to me.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's when she's like, this girl's really becoming the mother.
Yeah.
And she uses the word mother. Like from that point moving forward, she's like, you know
Yep.
what? I'm not gonna question you. Like you are the mother.
Yeah.
You are the one.
Mama.
I see.
Yes. HBIC is the word.
HBIC.
And then Swan's like, was I this good? Did I get manipulated this often? Did I do all the right things? Is there anything I could have done better?
Mm.
Yeah,
that
she's
led to
definitely changing / broadening her perspective on everything.
Yeah.
and then she returns back to the waking world.
She gave Egwene a little bit of intel on the location of all the super secret weapons.
Yeah. She's like,
Mhm.
it's in the storage
Yeah.
room, one that's locked. Like it's
That'll come into play at some point. I think we're meant to table that for a little bit because even Egwene's like, good to know. Can't really use it now. That's not the kind of fight I'm fighting, but good to
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
Wink.
Wink, wink. Wink is same as a nudge to a blind man.
Mhm.
Or nudge is the same as a wink to a blind man. I dyslexia got best in there. Yeah.
It's all good.
Whatever. You know what I was saying.
I'm
If you
putting
can't-
down what you're picking up.
If you can't clink wink, or yeah, that's the other one. Carry on. Because nothing really matters. Thank you for putting out Bohemian Rhapsody lyrics. What a Holocaust in there. Bring us up. Anything else? I mean, that's how we end this chapter.
Well, we do get that moment where she looks over at him and she's like, I might be in love. Or I am in love.
Oh yeah, she says it to Egwene.
Say it. Well, she doesn't say it to Egwene. She thinks that she'd want to say it to Egwene.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she straight up said it.
She says, I believe in a thing called love. Just listen
That's
to
Just
the
listen to the rhythm of my heart. There's a chance we can make it now. We'll be rocking till the sun goes down. I believe in a thing called love. Ooh.
Egwene kind of asks her what her drive is.
Boom, 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 boom. What'd you say, Chris?
Egwene asks her what her
No, just kidding. Sorry.
driving force is at this point.
Good times. We haven't done an interrupting a song in a while. Chris, you're usually the one on the other end of that.
I know.
Yeah.
Weird.
How does it feel?
Weird. It's really weird.
How does it feel?
Like, do I get angry because I'm being interrupted, or do I let it happen because I do it all the time? I just finished watching Young Sheldon. Now I know how he feels.
I've seen clips of it. I don't think I've actually seen a full episode of it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, same. Mostly clips, but they're good ones.
Yeah. Right now I'm watching Peaky Blinders just because I'd never watched the whole thing through. So I'm
Everybody
watching the
keeps
whole
saying
thing
I need to watch that, and I haven't
through.
watched it
Peaky
yet.
Blinders is so good.
Carry
Peaky Blinders.
on, carry on.
Anyways,
Nothing really matters.
yeah, it's a good one. Peaky Blinders.
You know, my
That's it.
favorite thing about when Chris would interrupt with a song is that every now and then he'll just give a couple lines because it matches what we're talking about. But every now and then when that happens, but it's a song you know he likes, he'll lean back away from the mic and he just keeps singing until he's done with it.
Mama,
He's like, actually, I like this one. I'm taking it to the end. And I respect that.
To make you
And-
cry.
That's a long one.
That's what she said.
Oh, haven't got a good one of those
Carry
in a while.
on, carry on.
Nothing really matters.
I am just a book.
That's a good song, like for a cover for this book, this series.
Because it's a long song. This is a long book.
Yeah. Wait. Did Jordan listen to that song like a million times and then write this book?
Go been
I feel like the
Sanders.
lyrics.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
the lyrics really apply.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways, favorite character. Let's go there.
You know, I kind of want to give it to Egwene, but I feel like it's a cop out. Let me think a little bit harder.
Okay.
I mean,
Freddie
we do
Mercury?
have our Shan Chen general, who was G enough to have a conversation as he was dying, and then
Mm.
say, "Will you do it for me?" Like he asked for that honorable death. And he got it before the Ravens continued their work.
Hmm.
Gosh, that's a good one. I'm gonna go a little more basic, but for now, before this blows up in his face, I'll give the nod to Rand. Mostly because that interaction between him and Rourke, like I already talked about, I kind of went back and forth on it a little bit, but then I was like, you know what? No, like I get it. Yeah. Yeah. I'll give Rand a nod.
I'll give it to Swan.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Real one this week.
There's
Look at me.
there's a
Look at
couple
me.
good
Yeah, this is a
and some honorable mentions. Gareth Bryn was great.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
Him
was a
calling
G
out, "Hey,
player.
tell Egwene I said
Yep,
what's up."
see, that's exactly where I was going. That was a G move. Like
That
only
was so good.
do that and get away with
Oh.
it so well.
And the way the two of them, they did their jabs, and it's like they're giggling, winking at each other at the end of it.
Yes.
If Gareth Bryn needs to be played by Mark Wahlberg, so I can say hello to your mother for me. Hey, goat. It's pretty cool.
I was thinking
goat.
Christopher Walken, but
Oh,
whatever.
Christopher Walken worked too. Yeah.
It'd be hilarious.
Well, cowbell. Cool. Next week we're doing 3 chapters again. 3.
Yes.
3. So we're doing Leaving Malden, The Last of the Tobacco,
Oh,
and The Death of Aderin.
the
Last of the Tobacco
is
is
a hard one
Mhm.
because we know it's gonna be a Perrin chapter.
That's
Because we know he's
terrible.
grown to like his tobacco.
It could be a Matt, but I was thinking Perrin.
Hmm.
Maybe all
Yeah.
3 are gonna be about Perrin. Well, except for
Oh.
the last.
Okay. Interesting.
Wouldn't mind a chapter where Fael goes up to somebody else we don't like and just slits their throat casually and then walks away.
Sprinkle some tobacco
He's
on
the
him.
real gangster.
Sprinkle some
Yeah.
tobacco on him.
Smokes the last of it. I didn't even want to do that, but I did it anyways. You want one last puff? I don't know.
One last hit. Fun times. That's yeah. So that's what we're doing next week, next Tuesday. So come check it out. In the meantime, you can find us at thewheelofreads.com. Find links to our Patreon. You can join that. That's kind of cool. Get some merchandise. Also kind of cool. Join Discord. Maybe some social medias. I don't do that stuff really that much anymore because social media is lame. I don't know. Maybe it's cool. I don't know. I'm too old for it. It's
Yeah,
not even
that's
that.
what I said.
It's
Kinda
a
outgrown
time.
it.
It's a time suck.
Well, you got to be careful not stepping in piles of shit when you're on there.
Yeah. there's a lot of
Yeah.
that.
If you could avoid that, you could still connect with some good
There's like
people.
this guy on Facebook, like his name's Ian, and he posts stuff all the time. I'm like, ugh, like why?
Yeah, he's healthy. He walks. He hikes.
I post annoying stuff too. Remember
do.
my poster for me and
I know
and the ether.
He's trying to
You're not-
defend himself. Oh, it's great. No, I love it. I love it. Keep it up. It's great. Hey, this is what friends are for, right?
Every now and
so
then
yeah.
I'll post something knowing that it's going to piss at least one person off. I'll be
I
like,
know. I
in
know
my
you
mind, I'm like, this one's for you, motherfucker.
I
Click.
can't remember the last time I made a Facebook post. Like, I don't remember the last time I did. Yeah.
I can't either. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I did one the other day. I don't remember.
I don't think I have in a while. Just because I don't know.
Yeah, it's not worth
I don't
it.
ever get on Facebook. So, anyways, yeah, go find us in all those cool places. The Will Reads, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and help the algorithm out because it
Give us a reason to get
'cause
back
it's
on social
cool.
media.
because it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All the cool kids are doing it.
The cool kids are doing it. Peer pressure, man. All right, that's all I got for this week.
Until next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Thank you for watching The Wheel Reads.
Until next time. Get your Coast Guard certified life-saving
Sure.
device ready and
Sure.
strapped on.
Oh, where are we going tonight?
What kind of strap on you talking about?